Today's opening words are attributed to the 5th century Sanskrit author, Kalidasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence. The bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day.
This is such a special moment, and I wish we were all in that room behind me, but here we go. Mark, we've invited you to be our consulting minister. We wish you, as our companion, counselor, and friend, to join with us and lead us in our spiritual quest as we do this induction ceremony. Here are some special words, and we will have responses. And if you can't actually respond, like with the mute on or off, you can at least wave a hand. We, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Rockland, induct you as our consulting minister. We pledge ourselves to join with you in the work and celebration of free religion, following the ways of peace, justice, and compassion.
Friends, with a deep sense of responsibility and gladness, I take up this ministry among you. I pledge myself, so far as in me lies, worthily to maintain the freedom of the pulpit, to speak the truth in love without fear of persons, diligently to fulfill the several offices of worship, pastoral care, and community service according to your customs, and in all things so to live as to promote generosity and faithfulness, love and peace among you and all people and all life on earth.
Mark, will you be faithful, a faithful consulting minister among us, leading us in worship, speaking the truth in love, and caring for the people? Will you be active in the affairs of the church, and in your ministry, will you try to show the way of love and justice?
I will.
Do we, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Rockland, promise to compensate him fairly and provide for his well-being as he works among us, to stand by him in trouble and share his joys? Will we listen to the word he preaches, welcome his pastoral care, and honor his guidance as he seeks to follow the truth? If so, please say we do and we will. And for those of you who may be on mute, we can also wave a hand.
We
do.
and we will.
It is with great pleasure, therefore, that we induct and welcome you as our consulting minister. Now's the time when we're supposed to ring a bell, show a sign. I'm going to switch my picture.
Thank you so much, everyone. Emily, that's a great sign, and I appreciate it. Thanks for the bells and the claps and the welcome. Regret that we can't be together in person right now, but I'm glad we can be together online, and I'm really looking forward to working with you together for the next few months at least. So, having said all that, let us now focus our hearts and minds in a prayerful moment as we join together in a moment of prayer and meditation. Where hate rules, let us bring love. Where sorrow, joy. Let us strive more to comfort others than to be comforted, to understand others than to be understood, to love others more than to be loved. For it is in giving that we receive, and in pardoning that we are pardoned. And together, let the congregation say, Amen.
Amen.
And now we're reading. Today's reading is by the Unitarian Universalist minister, Kathleen McTeague, and it's titled New Year's Day. The 1st of January is another day dawning, the sun rising as the sun always rises, the earth moving in its rhythms.
With or without our calendars, to name a certain day as the day of new beginning, separating the old from the new.
So it is. Everything is the same, bound into its history as we ourselves are bound.
Yet also we stand at a threshold, the new year, something truly new, still unformed, leaving a stunning power in our hands.
What shall we do with this great gift of time this year?
Let us begin by remembering that whatever justice, whatever peace and wholeness might bloom in our world this year,
We are the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all the best visions of our people.
for the new year can be new ground for the seeds of our dreams.
Let us take the step forward together onto new ground.
Planting our dreams well, faithfully, and in joy. Here ends the reading. Friends, in your memory, can you ever remember a time when people have so eagerly anticipated the new year? The year 2000 was notable, of course, for being the start of the new millennium, as well as fears about the Y2K glitch, but that anticipation seems to pale compared to people's hopes for 2021. We've all endured a lot, mourned enough, and patiently waited enough to get to this new year, hoping for a change and hoping for more health, more safety, more freedom, more stability, and even more predictability. You've probably noticed that this new year, fewer people speak about making resolutions as they usually do. Maybe it's because we're not in our offices and schools comparing resolutions with one another. Or maybe it's simply because we've accepted that staying healthy is resolution enough for this year, with our new yet ongoing practices of disinfecting our hands, covering our faces, and staying 6 feet away from one another. As the days continue into this new year, I sense a growing acceptance that though the calendar has changed and the cultural separation of one year from another takes place, that, as today's reading put it, everything is the same, bound into its history as we ourselves are bound. Which is to say that there is nothing magical about the changing of the calendar, any more than there is anything magical about turning a year older, or about all of the various New Years which other cultures celebrate, like the Chinese New Year in February, the Persian New Year in March, or the Jewish New Year in September. There's nothing magical about any of these dates, but each shows that in every culture and in every time period, people assign meaning and value to how we organize our time, even if we don't always agree on what that meaning and value is. In many ancient cultures, including Native American tribes, the ancient Babylonians and Greeks, as well as in the Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain religions of the East, time is thought of as cyclical, with the wheel of time constantly turning through the ages as the universe repeats the cycles of birth and extinction. This is in contrast to the view of time held in the Jewish, Christian, and Islamic religions and the cultures influenced by them. In this view, time is linear and unidirectional, beginning at the creation of the universe by the Creator, and ending with an end time when the present order of things will be eradicated and a final judgment will take place. Some mystics from many traditions have observed that time itself is an illusion, with the past and future being conflated into the present moment, not unlike what was mentioned in today's opening words, when the Sanskrit author Kalidasa reminds us that this very day contains all the realities of your existence, that yesterday is a dream and tomorrow is only a vision. So with an awareness of the multitude of meanings we can assign to time, we can nevertheless be hopeful about what this new year means, even if we accept that December 2020 isn't all that radically different from January 2021. As the author of today's reading reminds us, the new year leaves us with a stunning power in our hands. Even if how we organize time is culturally bound, we are still very much empowered to think about how we want to use that gift of time, a gift that we don't ask for, but which we receive anew each day, unmerited, an appreciation of which is likely what inspired the psalmist to proclaim, "This is the day the Eternal has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." These days, I like to remind my therapy patients that there are very few things we have control over in our lives. We don't control the weather, what country we were born in, who our family is, what talents we are endowed with, what interests we're predisposed to, who our neighbors are, what other people think of us, or what circumstances we find ourselves in. But we do get to control our time. How we use our time is up to us. Whatever dreams we have for this particular moment of time, this new year is the ground we plant those seeds in. Whether we dream of more balance, more peace, more justice, more wholeness, more democracy, more love, more health, more connection, more inspiration, or anything else. And so I think it's fitting that my new ministry as your consulting minister begins now at the start of the new year. Since getting to know you during the interview process, I've been impressed by your dedication, your tenacity, your commitment, and your resilience. This is a congregation which has gone through periods with and without the benefit of having ordained clergy, but regardless, you've remained a faithful presence in your county of an open-minded and socially engaged faith. You already know what it means to be the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all the best visions of our people, as today's reading said. Like many small congregations, I know that you worry about the future, whether the vision of this congregation will appeal to new or more people and families, or whether you'll have the human and financial resources to thrive in the years ahead. Being such an independent-minded congregation requires that members have to invest a lot of time and effort to maintain the church's well-being. Having said that, I remain hopeful about this too. As a former membership coordinator, I know that there are people out there who are looking for a place just like this. Maybe they don't know where to look and so haven't found us yet. Or maybe they visited the website a few times but haven't found the right Sunday to show up yet. Or maybe they've passed the building on the highway many times and wondered what we're like, but haven't slowed down enough to learn more about us just yet. I imagine there are many people who do know about us and who feel themselves in alignment with our mission, but we just haven't met each other yet. During these days, when the pandemic has forced people apart, causing us to feel starved for social contact, and as irrational confrontations against our democracy have been made, not just in the past week, but the entire past election cycle, I know that more than ever, there are thoughtful people of many persuasions who are looking for a spiritual home where they can ask the big questions in life in the company of fellow seekers. Questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What ought I to do? How did this world come to be? What is the nature of God? How do we live together? And what meaning can be found in our universe? And not only do congregations like this help people find spiritual meaning in life, but we also help to benefit the wider society by promoting social cohesion, volunteerism, humanitarianism, good character, and an increase in positive regard for one's neighbors, especially those in need. For all these reasons and more, I'm eager to partner and consult with you in being the type of congregation you want to see for yourselves and your community. Though I'm here for a 6-month contract, I see that as an opportunity to really focus on what is the most important work for us to do together right now. In my work as a therapist, I share at the intake appointment that the client and I only have 12 sessions to work together. Though this may seem brief, especially given the enormity of the concerns that would bring a person to therapy, it also paradoxically helps us to focus on what is the most important work for us to do together, knowing that our time together is finite. And so, friends, just as our time together this morning is finite, and just as my contract with you is finite, and just as the number of the days in this year are finite, and ultimately, just as all of our days in this life are finite, let us make the most of our time together, and may it be filled with peace and wholeness, and may we rejoice in this time and be glad for it. Thank you. For our closing words today, I'd like to bless you with these words from the 6th chapter of the book of Numbers. May the Eternal bless you and protect you. May the Eternal smile on you and favor you. May the Eternal befriend you and prosper you. Amen. Never has it been more true than now. We extinguish this flame, but the sparks within us remain alight. From each of us in our supposed solitude, the signals buzz and hum, sparkling through space one to another, connecting us invisibly but palpably. We are one, and from every window, our light shines.